So good gloomy afternoon, everyone. It is Mitchell, aka the Walker in Orlando. Welcome back to Disney's Hollywood Studios. Really only means one thing: pin trading, because this is the best part to pin trade at. It's got the most amount of boards and the least amount of time to walk between them, and also just a fun time. So we are going to be heading on in to do some pin trading, all that fun stuff. So we'll show you guys everything we get. We've got our books, and per usual, I'll show you what we start with and what we end with. And as per usual, I will make sure to put up a map where everything is, all the arrows, and show you every single board, and tried my best to show you all the boards. Tend to have a hard time not showing the boards clearly for everyone to see everything. And as per usual, Movie Land is the first stop, which is right either at the front of the park after you go in, or right before you go in. Alright, into Tinseltown photos right here. And I am still upset they got rid of the giant board in favor of just one of the Mickey boards. Good. So, what we also did is, because we had our books and we had all three of our books we bring to the park, we were able to trade, and this is all the ones we actually traded for. And like, so we have 1, 2, 3 that we're keeping for our collection. The rest we're going to keep for like traders to put in our book. Because we were like, we kind of want to just trade for trade, because it's kind of fun, because you can kind of update what you have. But I really think, like, you got Squirrella, but I don't know why, I really like this Dumbo fanny pack. But you can see, like, this, like, Wilderness Explorer, like, bike. But what's cool about this one is that this Stitch kind of pops up and down. So you see, he pops out of the pineapple. Really cool, though. I mean, we were probably in there for, what, an hour trading, I feel like. But got some good ones to update to our collection. Well, still kind of holding out, because there is a line of storms heading this way. You can see the wind's really picking up. So we're just kind of like playing it by ear, see how long we can maybe hold out. But next stop is going to be at Crossroads for their pin board. Right, into the dark room for our normal stop to check out if there's any new pins, and for the pin board in there. So this honestly might be one of the cutest pairs of ears I've ever seen. It's Baymax, got little band-aids, and Mochi right on top. Now, I think the price of these are a little more expensive, and I can't remember what the cost is. Well, they've officially turned this back area, which had all the 100th anniversary stuff, into the Disney Eats collection. Ooh, check out the button down. Oh, look at the purse. And you got, like, I don't know, like a popcorn holder. And if you don't like candy apples, but you've always wanted one, you can get a sipper cup. Ooh, it's kind of, oh, it's got a rubber bottom so it doesn't slip and slide. Like I said, this is the Disney Eats collection. A little out of hand with the Crocs. So they had the Christmas ones with the presents sticking up. Now they've got these Eats collection, which have a drink sticking up and a popcorn thing sticking up. Getting a little out of hand in my opinion. So far, not much luck on the actual boards themselves from Disney. Like I said, we got really good luck with the ones that we traded for with other people in the Tinseltown photos area. So it is kind of weird, because like some days you can't trade in there, some days they don't mind. I think depending on the crowd levels. Like today, not busy at all because of the weather that's possibly coming in. Really, we probably have another hour and a half before we start seeing some of that. But we were good, brought our umbrellas, which means it's not gonna rain. Alright, quick stop over to Sunset Ranch Pins and Souvenirs. Check out that board, and then more likely we'll be heading over to Toy Story Mania.
What's the little hand on your... Is that an I love you sign?
Yeah. Thanks.
Really a good time to ride the Tower of Terror in this kind of weather, because oh, you can kind of hear the, oh, I thought I heard thunder. It was actually a cart going by. But one of the big things is over here is that Rock and Roller Coaster is currently down for a refurbishment that has really no end date right now. And I think it's because they're redoing the catch car system. So, but we are continuing on, trying to make sure we can get through a few more things before the weather gets here. So at the Sunset Ranch Pins and Souvenirs, we were able to get this Little Mermaid one. I can't remember the names of the eels from So they're Ursula's eels, and I can't remember what their names are. The drastic difference of coming the day after Christmas and the day that it is going to absolutely pour and storm. Longest wait time in this park, 55 minutes for Slinky Dog Dash.
And it's open still?
Yeah, it's still open. Rise of Resistance only 50. Tower's only 40. Man, these are some good wait times for a day like today. Again though, you gotta keep in mind, there is some weather moving in, and it's not a little storm. They're talking tornadoes potentially. I mean, they put us under a tornado watch till 9 p.m. and the wind is very, very heavy right now. Into Toy Story Land, because we are gonna go over and do Toy Story Mania. Something we haven't done in a while, so I don't know how well we're gonna do. But as you can see, Slinky is still running despite the heavy winds right now. There's actually a lot of space to walk around in Toy Story Land. I wonder what wonder if there's any walk-ups for Roundup Rodeo. I just think this is one of my favorite queues anywhere, just because of how detailed and themed. I mean, like, they have a Peter Pan, like, picture thing that you can actually look through. I mean, it really looks like that you're walking into the box for Mania. Also, I wish you, oh, Wheezy's not even working today. So normally on the other side, Wheezy interacts with the guest when they're in line. But they block it off if you're in the lightning lane side, so you can't see him, unfortunately. But I just love how big the cards are and everything. Plus all the different games and everything as well. The giant barrel monkeys. Such a classic ride. I'm so glad they added that third track to make the line a little less longer, because this line used to be hundreds of minutes of wait all the time. So they added the third track, made a huge difference. My arm! It hurts. Oh god. 241,000. That's exhausting. Alright, let's see. What is best in vehicle? Ah! I only got best this hour. Oh well. Pretty good for not playing very much. I completely forgot about the pin board in here at the exit to Toy Story Midway Mania. Or Mania. The backside of Woody's Lunchbox, how they have like all this, and I think it's actually stuff that's getting expanded out as well, because they keep saying they're going to expand out Woody's Lunchbox to have more seating, and it looks like they're still working on it, because you can actually see it through the plane. So it'd be great for them to add more seating, because Woody's Lunchbox has like none. I also did forget, today is the first day of the date-based tickets. No longer need reservations to get into the parks. So if you have a ticket that can park hop, getting a lightning lane means, or getting a virtual queue means you can either get Tron or Guardians. You're not restricted to a reservation. And today also does end the restriction of park hopping at 2 p.m. So that means at 9 a.m. when a park does open, you can easily park hop to the next one by 9:15, 9:30. So that's kind of one of the big changes, but I do think this is the end of reservations as we know it at the park. And to me, that's what it needs to be, honestly, because right now the reservation system doesn't really help anymore, because I feel like the parks are busier than they have been in a long time since pre-closure times. Well, we are into the Pixar Place area, and this used to be, if people don't know, this used to be the entrance to the old Toy Story Mania location. And it's kind of funny, is I'll put in a picture right here of it. And I do remember very distinctly, like, the exit being right there where you exit out, and this being the entrance as well. But I do like the fact that they have kind of gone into a whole Pixar, because it used to be a Toy Story area. But biggest thing is you can meet Edna Mode here. Down at the end, you can meet Sully. And I think down at the end, you can meet Mrs. and Mrs. Incredible. But another one they've added around the corner is Frozone. Didn't realize Frozone has started meeting over here. So pretty cool. I wish they'd do more. But I know it's hard, because Hollywood Studios is the place where you put it, and you already did a whole land dedicated to just Toy Story. I'm going to take a little quick stop into Walt Disney Presents, because I haven't been in here in a little bit, and I always love just taking a quick little walk through and just looking at everything, because I always talk about the fact that this man right here is the reason why Walt Disney World starts, especially the fact that they show him with his Florida project. Because before he ever did anything, no one really heard, like, Orlando wasn't like a big booming town But when he came in, it became the thing of everything. Also, this is one of my favorite pictures because the man loved his trains. And I love trains too, so I love it. It always is just impressive that what one man's drive and vision could entail. But I always love the fact right here at the very end. Oh, see, this right here. I wish this still existed because I would love to visit it. But there are people who still do trains that are this size. I don't know, I love it. Like, I would love to have seen this when it was still a thing with Walt in his backyard. But I also want to come back here because I want to look at all the Disneyland stuff because we are finally going to be heading back to Disneyland this spring. Oh, they have a giant map of the original park. Oh, this is amazing. Okay, do y'all want to know fun fact? Fun fact is that when Disneyland was created for the train, and I know this because I love trains, it was only created with 2 stations, with the Main Street station and the Adventureland / like where the Haunted Mansion area is now. It was only created with that stop. But the way that it would work is that the train could only, so a train if it's at Main Street, so this was at Main Street, the one that was carrying the other ones from like Frontierland and Adventureland would come up and around and go up in front of the train right there, up and around and keep going. So one train had to be stopped for the other one. So this train did not stop at that stop, and that train up there did not stop down at this stop. So, but this is the same thing I think I saw the last time I went to Disneyland. Oh, I cannot wait to go back, y'all. Especially now that they've completely changed over, especially like Paradise Pier. Paradise Pier is now Pixar Pier, and I went right when Incredicoaster had changed over, but they were still working on the other part of it. Because like I want to do the Pixar Pow on Pow with the scary side. What makes me laugh more than anything else is the fact that they still have the Disney Wish stuff up. I thought by now they would have changed it over to the Treasure because the Treasure is debuting next. But I do love the fact they do have the cruise line area as well. We're hoping to be going on the Fantasy in October on a 7-night Halloween on the High Seas cruise. Also, something that a lot of people do tend to skip is that at the very end of like all of the like museum stuff is that at the very end they do have Walt's One Man's Dream. Now that tends to rotate out depending on if there's any brand new Disney movies coming out. They'll usually show a preview there, but right now it's One Man's Dream, and it's a very cool video to see. In my mind, it's actually very touching and like very much like talks about what Walt went through and everything he did to create what he did. And a lot of the stuff that success Disney has seen has been post-Walt years. Yes, for 40 years he was in charge of the company. But just remember, the company is celebrating 100 years, so there's a 60-plus year gap now without Walt, and the company has done better than ever. Now, would it be the company the same way if Walt was still alive? We don't know. The problem is that if Walt was still alive today, he'd be 120-something years old, and he would not be around. So, but it's still amazing just to see what has changed and what will continue to change as imagination still thrives. Also, they did announce that the Voyage of the Little Mermaid will be coming back, but will be reimagined. And honestly, it kind of does need it. I mean, especially look at that. I didn't realize how bad that sign looked. And then look at those fishes. They are very much in need of some paint or something because it hasn't been reopened since the closure. So, but we would have stayed a little longer, but it looks like the storm is starting to roll in just a little bit. And we don't want to get caught because we still have to drive home. And the way they're talking, I don't want to be out caught on the highway with how bad the storm is looking to be. Another thing is also I would have taken y'all into the dark room to check out if there's any new pins, but when we walked in there, it was super busy. And just talking to Kayla, we were talking to a lot of the pin traders that we traded with earlier, and they don't really have anything brand new as of recent. I think last year we got most of our pins mostly between, like anything new was like February through September. So, but you can see the wind is starting to pick up more and more, and it's just getting a little cautious. They even are starting to take down all the umbrellas anywhere that have umbrellas here and starting to tie them, looks like, because of how heavy this wind's going to be. Considering we are still in a tornado watch until 9 p.m. It looks like that we are not the only ones making our way out of the park, because it looks like that a lot of people have started to see that it's going to get dark, it's going to get gross, it's going to get very crazy, so you're trying to leave now. I would think though, if you were coming down and visiting and you happen to see the way the weather is, I would say almost try to figure out a way like to maybe like have like a dining reservation that sit down inside for about a couple of hours, for like an hour, hour and a half. And by the time it's back, by the time the weather completely moves out, then the park will be completely empty at that point. As you leave Hollywood, just look at all the palm trees, how they are blowing in the wind. You see how dark the clouds are starting to get all around. And I am kind of interested to see, I'm kind of interested to know, what is the limit to how long the Skyliner stays running with the wind like this? So, interesting things to think about. All right, with the weather starting to move in, it's starting to get a little bit worse and worse and worse. We're gonna go ahead and leave because we don't want to get caught here, and we don't want to get caught on the roads with it. So we're gonna go ahead on out. Pin trading was kind of a dud outside of what we traded with other people. So pretty good still with the ones we did get. So I'll make sure to show you those right there. But besides that, it was just a kind of a nice chill day to come to studios before the weather. So, but with all that being said, as we do head on out from Disney's Hollywood Studios, if you guys enjoy the trip, enjoy everything, and you want to see more of our Disney park adventures, make sure you check out the entire list right here. And at the very bottom, make sure you do hit that subscribe. So with all that being said, so do head on out. We'll see y'all next time.